How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Joe the Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Saturday Night Live show with my usual compadres. I've decided, guys, from now on, this is your show as much as it is my show. So we'll dispense with that whole bringing each other on in kind of individually thing. It's just nice to see you all back on the screen together again. So we'll start off. We'll just do a quick roundabout. Luke, how are you doing, sir? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Bit tired today, but I'm good.
Good. Because you've been resetting your room, I see, haven't you?
I have. So, like I mentioned before the show, this is all actually round the other way now. So my old background is now in front of me. So, yeah, it's all very different.
All very different. It looks very
it
cool.
does. It does look like you've got way more space now.
Yeah,
than you
it's
did
like a
before.
card, isn't it?
It's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot more here now. So hopefully you guys will see it as my videos progress. We'll have different camera angles, different areas of the room being shown.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Nice to see you, bud. Efren, my friend, how are you?
What is going on, Comic Book Familia? I have a great 1-2 punch on Saturdays. Right before your show, I'm on Rob's channel watching his guests who always have awesome CGC books and CBCS and just talking about comic books, which I always like. And then I come over here, but Rob has to rush. You know, he goes, "You got 30 minutes left. Come on, I gotta go."
Yeah, and it's always a good show. I always enjoy that. I didn't catch it tonight, unfortunately, Rob. So I will be watching the rewind tomorrow. And if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to do the same and check it out tomorrow. GP, how are you, my friend?
I am very well. Just hit my 8-year anniversary on YouTube.
Is it 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
Oh wow!
So
congratulations, bud. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice to. I mean, you've got what, about 9 channels now? Was it, or how many channels have you got at this point?
13, 14.
13 channels. Yeah, good stuff, bud. Good stuff.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe it's that long. I'm trying to.
I know.
How long have you don't know? I think it's that COVID year. Everything just kind of happened, didn't it? And everybody started and whatnot.
It did. It's weird from like seeing it on as a YouTube creator at that time.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't very many people in the UK comic book community.
Yeah,
just got
absolutely.
This big, massive influx of channels,
and
you're just seeing it explode, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you're right. It all kind of kicked off around the same time, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little face. Look at that face. Dr. Von Hoot, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for asking. It's
good,
hot.
Good.
It's hot and
it
sticky.
is hot. I've got a fan though, so I'm living life.
When you say you've got a fan, is that Badger, bless her, stand?
Yeah, it is. She's just
like
that.
Giant palm leaf.
Yeah, giant palm leaf. Yeah, if you start drinking out of a coconut, we'll know you're not at home. Yeah. Anyway, always good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for your comments on my Transformers show we did the other day. I knew you'd be watching with
Oh,
interest.
definitely. Yeah, I wasn't going to miss the Transformers show that you did. That
was
was
good fun.
madness.
I enjoyed it. And Rob, how are you feeling today, sir?
Well, sir, I am Ducky, and I'm tired. It was a tough swim across the ocean to get here.
Yeah,
but in record time, no less, because damn, do we hit that post right at the to jump on.
Yeah, the timing is superb, isn't it? It's slick.
I have now officially actually changed in my template that I send out to people when I'm soliciting guests. I've now reduced. I've no longer tell them 25 to 30 books. I now tell them 20 to 25 books because I now know between the channel membership is getting really long, which is bless everybody who's doing that, because it all goes to Comics Curing Cancer. But it's, by the time you do say hello to the chats and you do, which feels like an obligatory thing. I don't know why, but it is. And you do all that stuff. It just, next thing you know, you're out 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, thankfully, Rob, my channel's not hit that peak yet. But when you've got, I watched, was it Brian's show today? And
Brian's show was nothing but say hello to the chat, do a giveaway. All right, we're out. There was no other content today.
Yeah.
But it's the same as I was just going to say it's the same as Spine Ticks. I think it goes 20 to 25 minutes just saying hello to the chat.
And what drives me amazing is that those guys they know what's going on everybody's channel. It's like I catch a piece here and piece there of people, so I can sort of drop things, but I have a lot. I don't know. Not saying they don't have lives, but I have a wife that demands some time from me, and my kids time for me.
I mean, that is an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I think as you've been on YouTube for a little while, GP's just said there's 6 years for him. You do
8.
8 years. Sorry, yeah.
He's already trying to undercut you, make you feel like
but you do accumulate that kind of friendship group,
Yeah.
And I feel bad if I don't get to watch everybody's videos. And I have to kind of get in my head that actually there's no expectation to watch it the day it comes out. I can watch it sometime, But,
I watch a lot of stuff, but I don't get the chance to comment on it because a lot of stuff. I have another monitor off to the side of me that runs like during my work day, and so I'm watching stuff out of the corner of my eye and listening and stuff. But I don't have a interface to be able to chat and type. So unless I remember to go back, it doesn't always hit. But
I have to basically stop and think. I go, you know what? I should check out my friend's YouTube channel. I'm always so busy with my own channel. And I was like, I got to set some time apart, which I do more and more. At least half an hour. Okay, what are my buddies doing on YouTube? So I got to check them out.
Well, much like Rob, I watch all of my YouTube content via the Apple TV. So I can't leave it. I don't even like the videos or let alone comment because it's just playing in the background, like he says. But when I do pick up my phone, you're getting a double view because it's still on the TV when I'm picking it up on my phone to give you a comment.
Good stuff.
I do everything through the Fire Stick usually, which means I can like the video, but I can't comment, which I always feel really bad about because everybody needs comments. But I watch hours of stuff that way, and it's the only way I can do it. So
it all locks up, doesn't it?
Anyway, the story is those of you in the chat, we love you. We try to watch yourself and make as much that we appreciate you being here for us.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, I'm just looking at the comments here, and as ever, we've got some of our supporters who are always here. So thank you so much, guys. First of all, we've got StreamYard. Thank you very much. We've got my good friend Deadman. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much, my friend. We've got Comic Cap Clip. Can't say it. That's like one of those tongue. Comic Cap. Someone help us out.
Collectors.
Comic Cap Collectibles. That's the fella. Thank you very much for joining me. Loving that. I'm not a massive Funko Pop collector, but I do fancy that one with Captain America with Molyneux. Looks very cool. We've got Jack. Always a pleasure, Jack. Why don't you just turn the chair around? Saves you hours. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's talking to you, Luke, in terms of your setup. We've got Chris Bell. Always a pleasure, Chris. Yes, Chris. Thank you for changing the name back from that filth that you had on earlier in the week. Chris has just been sending me some. I know he said send me some images. That sounds dodgy, but Chris has started doing a fair bit of artwork. And he's been sending some images of the stuff he's doing for the Star Wars show on Monday, and it is absolutely phenomenal. One of the good things about doing this art channel, art show that we've started doing, is that we see the community's art. Only negative to that is it makes me realize how utterly atrocious I am at any kind of drawing.
You're getting better.
But some of the stuff people are sending in is just phenomenal. So looking forward to seeing that on. I'll show that on Monday night, bud. And ever, we've got good old Fuzzy. Fuzzy will sit back and be quiet. Absolutely not, Fuzzy. I don't accept that at all, mate. You're the life and soul of the comments, and you always make us smile. So please do continue to comment away. We've got Sean. Thank you very much for joining, Sean. Always a pleasure. And we've got my pal from work, the original Big Dave. Now, Big Dave is a good mate of mine, and he's started hitting Instagram quite hard. And he's doing movie reviews and TV show reviews in kind of short format. So please do check him out on Instagram. He's got some great content there, so do check that out. Fuzzy, if you click on the bell, Efren, you won't forget. Click the bell, Efren. Yeah. Do you know what? I never tell people to do that in my videos, Fuzzy. That's a great point. I always say like and subscribe, but I don't remind people about that little bell function. Comic Cap or Rich Works too. Good stuff. Thank you, bud. I catch a lot on catch up, but find myself wanting to comment. Yeah, that's the challenge when you're not watching live, I suppose. I love the art show. My favorite shows you do. Thank you, Jack. I really do appreciate that. Jack's art as well is freaking amazing. Jack again has been sending us some imagery, and yeah, it's breathtaking. Jack tends to use the iPad. I think it's an iPad. Jack tells if I'm wrong, but he uses kind of, instead of traditional pencil and paper, he uses the electronic methods, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. We've got Matthew. Thank you for joining, bud. Hi all. Didn't think much of Dial of Destiny. Yeah, lacking the magic from the other four. Prefer Crystal Skull. Yeah, and we did a show about that earlier in the week on Reviews with Rich's channel, and I don't think you're alone, Matthew. I came out of it feeling just a little, I don't want to say negative, because it wasn't a bad film. It just left us feeling a little bit flat. Any of you guys seen it yet?
No, not yet, no.
I haven't seen anything other than the original trilogy. I haven't even
You've not seen Crystal Skull?
No. I heard so many negatives about it that I just thought, well, I don't need it in my life.
I think you're missing a trick, Luke, because if there's ever a nuclear holocaust, you'll miss the instructional video of how to survive that in the fridge. So,
yeah,
it's. I mean, Rob, you've seen that one, Crystal Skull?
Yes, I have, and I've tried to forget it. Look, the reality is, after the third, it should have just stopped. The third was great, and was a fitting end.
Yeah.
To the series.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Gotta agree.
Yeah, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because I've watched some of the interviews with Harrison Ford, and he's genuinely emotional about the film. He wanted to kind of do something spectacular, I think, and it's just not. Anyway,
I saw it, and it just was a nostalgia movie for me. You know, I'm glad that I saw it. You know, it's like an ending to Indiana Jones. You know, we all watched the original ones. And to me, you know, it was like I had to go see it. And it wasn't the best movie, but like I said, it just, to me, it was like a bookend, you know, the end of his, you know, movie, so to speak. So that's why I watched it, basically.
Yeah. I was always going to watch it, but I don't know that I necessarily loved it. Okay, guys, let's crack on, because we've got a lot to go through. Okay, is that shown as blue on your screen, or is that just my screen? No, it's okay. See it. Yeah, I got a funny image on my screen there. Just before we get into that, Fuzzy, I'm surprised anyone expecting anything than disappointment with the latest indie flogging a dead archaeologist. Ooh, harsh. Yeah, but you're not wrong there. Just to quickly wrap through this is some of the things that are coming up on the channel. Did this the other night. If you're into 1/6 scale action figures, please do check that out. Myself and Ben, the attention-seeking geek, talked all things toys. Last night, we did this week's comics, which was just a review, quick canter through kind of the week's books. We're going to touch on some of the latest comics later on as well, but that was an interesting show. I have to say, not a good week for comic books. And we'll mention that a little bit later on. This Monday, we've got Geeky Art Attack, where we're going to be doing Star Wars. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a great night. I know James and Efren are excitedly coming up with some ideas to put through our paces. So that's going to be a real fun episode, I'm sure. Okay, let's crack on, guys. So we'll do the usual, a little bit of geeky news to whet your appetite and get your comments on. I wanted to start off with this. Now, this is old school. I don't know if any of you guys remember the Visionaries cartoon and toy line.
Yes.
How do I get these?
Absolutely.
So I am a huge Visionaries fan, and I know Luke is. Huge amount of nostalgia for me. These guys.
Yeah.
I've got some of the original figures. Anybody that doesn't know about these figures, they're kind of called Spectral Knights, and basically the whole excitement of them was the chest and the staff had holograms on the figures, and they could either turn, like this guy Leoric, a line could come out of his chest, or he could recant kind of a spell, I guess you'd say, and the thing would come out of his totem on his pole. Amazing figures. These are being made as statues from a third-party company, so I don't think they've got the official license, but they're the actual statues. So they've got lights in the staff and in the chest piece. You can have the kind of the lion disconnected and the owl disconnected, and just the hologram lit up function, or this actually ports into the chest. Absolutely stunning.
Absolutely amazing.
I want them so badly.
Yeah.
But I don't buy third-party stuff that isn't licensed. It's just one of my things.
I'm not sure. It might be licensed. I don't know, mate. So I'm like you, Von Hoot. I needed these, and I think I messaged Luke, and we went back and forth a little bit, and I actually ended up messaging the guy that's selling them. So 2 different ones there. We'll just look at Leoric, the one with the blue lion. It's a statue, light up statue. How much do you think would be paying for a light up statue?
Could be around the 500 mark.
500. Did you say 200, Rob?
Yeah, I have no idea what these things run.
Yeah.
I would think 4, but I don't know.
A little bit more. 1,320 US dollars.
I will not be buying them. That is ridiculous.
And then postage on top of that to the UK about 200. Was that $280? Yeah,
that's.
I'll admire them from afar.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of key comics I can get?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Oh God, I would have loved. I mean, I literally would have loved to have those statues, but you know, there's just no way in hell I'm forking out $3,000 for.
Yeah,
for
I see
pair,
prices like that, and usually the comments that come to my mind, I don't want to even repeat on this channel because I don't know what it's rather wrong. But I mean, it's like there's got to be more than just stand there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
who's paying that? Seriously, that's insane.
But I mean, if you look at the edition size, it's 40 items.
Right.
You know, so I guess you can argue about the rarity of it. Now there's a nice thing. You get a little bit of a discount if you've already bought Leoric and you go for the second one. I think you get a little bit knocked off, which is nice, but it's still.
Well, look at those shipping rates, though, too.
Yeah. So not. I mean, I would love them, but not for me, guys. And I wanted to ask, do any of you? So I know most of you collect toys and comics. Does anybody collect statues like the old busts and things like that? Luke, how about you? Do you collect anything like that?
Not. I don't collect it. I have made my own statues before. For any of you guys who don't know, I used to work in the effects industry a little bit. Used to dabble there. Really enjoy sculpting and molding things out of clay. So actually, I've got various things around the room that I've made myself in statue form. So not really a collector, but yes, I do have some.
Yeah. Anybody else got any?
I went through about a 3-year span where I started buying statues. I got the Hulk Wolverine one, like from 181. I got Iron Man. I got Doctor Strange. I got Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman from the animated series. And I got some Star Wars ones. Like I went about a 2-3 year span where I started collecting them from Sideshow Collectibles.
Yeah.
Like, man, they're so expensive. I just stopped.
Yeah, there's always that worry with me as well. If they're made out of porcelain or whatever it's made out of, you knock them and you shatter a piece off. And that's
I've done that
thing. Yeah. Chaps, I'm getting a bit of feedback. So can you just pop yourselves on mute and then unmute when you're going to be speaking, please? Thank you. Fuzzy is just saying there that he likes them, but they don't have any nostalgia for him. Like the show figures do. Easy Swerve. Yeah, mate, I remember them. Because I don't know if you remember back in the day when you bought a VHS or a Betamax video, it came in like a card sleeve kind of thing. And I remember getting the Visionaries first couple of episodes on VHS for Christmas one year from my parents, and then just falling in love with the toys. The toys were stunning.
I think there's only about 14 episodes or something. It's a really short run.
It was a massive failure because, like back in the day, it was designed to sell toys, and it just didn't take off. There is a comic series. Marvel did a comic series, and I've literally just yesterday, because I saw these statues and I got the nostalgia bug, I jumped on eBay and I was searching for Visionaries, and I just happened to come across a kind of a Visionaries Bible, and it's got all the action figures in it and everything like that. So I've ordered that. So looking forward to getting.
Are you familiar with the Supernaturals as well?
I've got a few of them.
Yeah,
they were really cool. So again, they're full hologram. You take the front off, and that glow in the dark weapons and things like that. And the comic is superb.
I will point out in regards to the comic, not to plug my own show, Making Sense of Pence, but we have UK versions as well, and they actually came with the hologram in the center of the large comic book format.
The Visionaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that one. Yeah, I've got it with the hologram on the front as well. Stunning. Good stuff. Now, we've talked a little bit in the past about poor artwork, and I wanted to mention that this is coming out if anybody's interested in it. You'll all probably have seen the Alex Ross covers that came out a while ago. He's doing the poster book again. So he did it for the Heroes a while ago. So there is a super villains one coming out in September, I think it is. Now, the first one of these was absolutely stunning, so I'll definitely be jumping on that. So if anybody's in the mood for a bit of Alex Ross artwork, keep an eye out on that. I know a few of you, so Efren and Rob, I know in particular, like a nice sketch cover or a distinct piece of artwork. And I spotted this from Torpedo Con. It's Jim Lee's price list.
Yeah, he's not inexpensive at all.
I mean, it's wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like some of these things, he goes to some of them. He'll have his inker and stuff with him, and you can get like a combo where they'll come over and enhance it and stuff, and then it becomes like stupid expensive. But these rights are much higher than they were during the pandemic, even because I think they've gone up about 20% from last time I've seen them.
Yeah, I mean $500 even for a remark seems, because a remark to me, guys, and correct us if I'm wrong, is a very quick sketch on the cover, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's Jim Lee. That's the thing. It's like he's legend, and he doesn't have time to do a lot of stuff. So I was like, I mean, the one time I sent books off where we were just getting signatures and stuff, and where it wasn't at an event he was right at during the pandemic, it took like 16 months for him to have time to do signings, because he was so backed up with stuff. And of course, DC kept him busy at the time. I mean, they just fired everybody, but
So obviously a lot of time has passed and the market has changed an awful lot over the last few years. But I mean, looking at some of these prices, how much would a normal original page from a comic book normally cost you? Because I remember picking those up for around the same price as what he's asking for a full pencil headshot.
Yeah, an original page, depending upon the artist, is when you're not talking about a Jim Lee page, but if you're talking about a regular page, hero page, I see them ranging anywhere from $500 to $2,000 for a page, depending upon what the character is and who the artist is. And then you can, when you start getting to legend status like this, then it's just.
I don't know. I've belong to some other groups on Instagram chat groups, and we've been talking about this. I just think that it's too high priced. I mean, I look at them, I goes, no way am I paying for this. And somebody mentioned on Instagram also that his books, all these signatures, the pencil, the ink, the full pencil headshot, on eBay, they go like for about 60% of what you have to pay for them, 60%.
Really?
Yes. They don't if you sell this, you're not gonna get your money back.
He's essentially pricing himself out, isn't he?
Exactly.
But I wonder if is that the point? I mean, Jim Lee, I can't imagine is hard up. Do you know what I mean?
I think it is. I think it's, you get to a point with some of these stuff. Look, you have so many requests, so you price yourself to a point where you get only a handful of requests because you don't have the time. You don't want to be. I don't want to be in a set where I'm going if I'm Jim Lee, I don't want to be going back to my hotel and having to work all night long to try to cram in a bunch of commissions. Instead, if I only get 3 or 4, fine. I got 3 or 4. I still made $1,200. He's not paying to show up. He's not paying his travel expenses to show up to the show. He's not paying his hotel costs. So everything that he does make is all just extra cash.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Rob, because I mean, you guys, I know, have been to a lot of conventions. I know a lot of the guys on screen have. But I did Thought Bubble last year and I got a fair few sketch covers done. And it was great. But there was a couple of the guys, and a couple of the guys that I picked up covers from, you could see they were starting to get a little bit cheesed off by the Sunday afternoon, because they were literally trying to talk to fans whilst having a queue of people saying, is my cover ready? Is my cover ready? Whilst they were still trying to draw and do stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the pricing is as designed probably to try and limit the amount of work he does. In terms of cost, I think I mentioned to you guys before, Aaron Bartland, the guy who did that turtle cover, has just done 2 more sketches for me over the last week or so, and he's charging for a comic cover bust, so waist up. He's charging $400, which I think is pretty reasonable. I don't think that's bad.
It depending on the artist, that could be some of those that's a little bit high on a sketch cover. I would say like a lot of the ones I've done recently where they're bust characters, they're $200 to 200 to, when you get to 4 to 5 is on the high end. $200-$300 range is the man who really knows is actually in the chat right now. Beckerman, he's huge when it comes to the original art world and knowing all that stuff. But from my experience recently, on getting a lot of sketch covers, it's like I mean, again, it all comes down to the artist. The bigger the artist, the more it costs to get those types of things.
Yeah, and I didn't know if it was because of the materials he uses. Don't know if that matters or not, because it's all fully painted, hand painted, rather than
if you're doing something that's fully painted, it's going to cost more than somebody who's just doing a quick, or doing a pencils sketch or pencils and inks types of thing where they're just going out.
So I don't buy much original art. I mean, I've bought a fair bit in the past, but I always tend to go through their sketchbooks and I will ask if I can buy a piece, because at least that way I know what I'm buying. If I'm going to spend that amount of money, I already want to see it rather than paying them the money and seeing what they come up with after the fact.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it.
You're right on. You know what? I recently picked up some that way when I was at the cons, as well as having some commissions done. I mean, the commission you get what you want, right? And for me, I've been getting some Batman and Spider-Man Rogues villains, and I'm trying to get different ones, right? Yeah. But at the same time, there are certain artists that'll have them that are pre-done there. Oftentimes, you're going to also get them cheaper than if you were to get the commission, because it's something they were able to do at their leisure, at their time, or maybe it was something they did for a commission, but it turned out wrong, and so then they ended up having to redo or whatever else, and it just becomes bonus.
Well, it was I think it was Mike Plug. I went and saw all of his stuff when he was over here in London many years ago, and I was actually dressed up in cosplay for Little Shop of Horrors, and he done all the storyboards for that stuff, way back in the day. So I was going through his folder and none of it was for sale, but I made him an offer and I ended up walking away with some nice pieces. So that's always
when we're at Thought Bubble, I mean, I'm a massive fan. I think you guys know him, Alex Cormack, who does Sync and a lot of stuff, and he's been on the art show. He had his portfolio there, and like you say, look, the prices for some of the artwork, and you can tell he spent a lot of time on the pieces, was stunning. But it was also good for kind of helping me decide what I wanted. So he had a great image of the Taskmaster from Marvel, and I kind of said to him, Alex, that's a great image. I've got no interest in Taskmaster, but I'm a massive fan of He-Man. Could you do something similar to the Taskmaster face, but make it Skeletor? Because it's very similar in looks. And that's what he did. He did a stunning Skeletor commission for us. So yeah, great stuff. I do like a commission, but they're very pricey. If you're interested in commissions, myself and Efren have done a few live shows and videos where we'll talk about our commissioned collection. So please do go and check them out. Just going to jump into the chat. Sorry, I should also say that Rob, I have seen a number of commissions from his channel, so do check that out as well. He's got some stunning pieces as well. Dead Man. Sorry, Rob, you about to say something, mate?
I just realized I was muted. I said, I got a couple short boxes full of sketch covers. Yeah,
some good stuff. I spent the last 3 years selling about 100 statues and busts, ran out of room, using them for comics instead. Yeah, that's why I got rid of all of my bone busts, to be honest. Fuzzy. Oh, Fuzzy. Sectors. Yeah. So I've got some of the comics
hand puppet gloves, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 of the hand puppets. I've got the tarantula one, and I've got one of the flying creatures.
I'm not going to lie. I always just thought they looked stupid. Like, they would never...
I tell you what, the playset for that is the biggest playset I have ever seen in my life. It is huge. This big like bug mound thing.
Incredible.
Always wanted one. Never found one.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, love them. Fuzzy again. He's priced himself out to avoid the work. Yeah, potentially, mate. Beckerman, thank you very much for joining, my friend. Yup, and sometimes fame doesn't matter. I've had indie guys charge me double what George did. Wow. Yeah. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Surely it comes down to what it's worth to you. If you want it, you'll pay it. Absolutely, Fuzzy. And I'm a massive fan of that guy's work. So I'm very. And he's done as a Thor and Doctor Strange. So I'm very, very pleased with Aaron's work. We've got the Comic Vet. Thank you very much for joining, sir. Always a pleasure to see you. We'll have to get you on one week. You have to jump on with me. Fuzzy Dunlop. The Wire is the greatest TV series ever. And I prefer to buy published pages. Yeah, again, pricey, but very cool to have a few in your collection. Okay, guys, I just wanted to briefly mention this. I don't know if this is of any interest to you. It is of massive interest to me because I'm a massive Star Trek nerd. And also, obviously, Patrick Stewart is a national treasure, and he plays, obviously, Professor X. But he's got a book coming out called Making It So. He's doing some tours and readings of the book. So he's got a couple of dates in the UK there, London and Huddersfield, and then he's doing a big tour over America as well. So really cool. I've tried to get tickets for Huddersfield. They were sold out, but I'm on the waiting list. But
Huddersfield's a weird choice.
Well, it's not. It's because he lives around there, doesn't he?
Is that where he's from? Is it?
Yeah. I think he lives around that area.
Oh, why that makes sense then?
Yeah.
Peter, if you go, you're going to wear your Star Trek uniform?
Absolutely. Well, no, I've been talking about Ben, the attention seeking geek, wants to go, and he's got a nasty habit of dressing up as Professor X and forcing people to push him around in a wheelchair. So I've told him, absolutely flaming not am I doing that. But I think he thinks it's happening. But yeah, we haven't got tickets. If we get tickets, I will be absolutely over the moon. Yeah, Fuzzy's just saying he's a Yorkshireman. That's right, mate. He is. You're right. And Big Dave, he's from Huddersfield and a big footy fan. Yeah, I'm absolutely, desperate to see him because he's one of my big kind of ticks. I want to see him if I can.
Well, Peter, you've got the date and you've got the location. Just go and stand outside. He's got to leave. He's got to leave sometime.
I mean, that sounds a little bit like stalking, Luke, but you're right. I could in my Star Trek uniform. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, we're joined by good old James T. Keegan. Nice of you to join, bud. Are you well?
Heyo, what's up?
Heyo, indeed.
Sorry,
just finished work.
I literally got back 3 minutes ago, so I'm
good stuff. Good stuff, mate. Thank you for joining. So interested in seeing that. I'd love to get there. I'm not sure if I'll get the tickets, but not sure if you guys are interested in this. But we've got new movies coming out in terms of Chronicles of Narnia and also a TV Percy Jackson show. Now, I'm a big fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, so quite looking forward to that. Either of these float anybody's boat?
I really like those Percy Jackson films. I'm surprised we don't have more films based on all of that mythology. Obviously Harry Potter came in and basically set the tone for everything, and we had a lot of these duplicate things arise. But I do feel like now we can get a bit more darker and grittier with some of this stuff. I know that it probably won't be with this case, but I really want to see some more of that stuff. I think there was like a Netflix show to do with Thor, which was absolutely amazing. It was great stuff. A foreign thing.
Was that Ragnarok? I think it was a Norwegian thing or something.
Yeah,
I only watched a little bit.
And I thought that was really good, and I would like to see more of that sort of stuff because I feel like as much as the Disney stuff is good, brackets, it's public domain stuff. We should see more of it.
Yeah. Anybody fans of the Chronicles of Narnia series?
Loved it as a kid.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily. I'm glad to see that it's just doing stuff with it, but I mean, to me, in my mind, it's kid stuff, and so I probably wouldn't go out to go see it.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the same page as Rob there. I mean, I liked it a lot as a kid, but I mean, I don't really need it now. Maybe they could prove me wrong, and it's going to be a masterpiece, and I'll run out after a bunch of good reviews. But otherwise, yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested to see it because I am a big, but probably like you guys. I remember watching it. This comment from Fuzzy. There was a TV series in the 80s, and I did enjoy the remake movies to an extent. I'm just pleased to see them doing stuff with the properties. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's not for me, I remember enjoying it when I was younger. So I'm pleased that that'll happen for another generation.
Yeah. If I had kids that were that age, I'd probably take them, but my kids are adults now. So
Yeah. What about you, James? Are you a Narnia fan?
Yeah, I grew up on it, Turkish Delight and all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. You never know. This might end up exceeding like those movies in that original show. So we'll see.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, is this interesting? This is Deadpool. We've got a picture of him on set. This came totally left field for me, that Jennifer Garner's return as Elektra. I mean, I didn't see that on the cards at all. I am a little bit concerned that at the moment, every movie seems to be, let's chuck an old movie into the mix somehow.
Yeah.
Has this got anybody excited?
This is a really
Deadpool's always
left of,
excited.
this is a really left of field one though, and I'm happy. I'm hoping for like it seems like they might tie in a lot of fun.
You're breaking up, James. Can't hear you.
And apparently Ben Affleck's rumored to be in it as well.
So they must be just throwing in more multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
I was sick of multiverse movies now. I mean, Secret Wars has us excited because it was going to be the big accumulation. But actually, I reckon by the time we get to Secret Wars, I'm going to have seen every frigging character on another movie at some point. Well,
I think they're leaning towards this being like Deadpool kills the universe, right? So it's like him going back and probably destroying all the Fox stuff.
I mean, that could be fun. That could be fun if they did that.
I mean, if it's a cameo and it is funny, then maybe it'll be fun. But I really don't care. Like,
I'm more upset about.
Me interested.
I'm sorry. I'm more upset about knowing all these leaks. I just if it happens and I see it, I can enjoy it. I don't need to know every time someone's on set. And unfortunately, no matter what you try to do, you can't avoid these spoilers anymore.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
This movie next year, right? I believe it's next year.
I think so. Yeah.
Luke, you're right on the spot. I mean, who cares? I mean, tell us. I don't want to know. I wish I didn't read it. I think I'd be more surprised if it was. Hey, wow.
It makes me want to see it less. That's the problem. Because now I'm like, I'll wait for the DVD. I'll wait for the streaming. I'm not going to rush off to see something when I know it all.
Yeah, I do agree. I think I've said this before. We're living in an age now where there's very few genuine surprises anymore. When you go to see a movie, you've probably heard about them, and that's even when you try not to hear about them. So it really winds me up when some of the news outlets literally say spoiler, but then show you an image of the character. So this Elektra thing was literally everywhere. You couldn't get away from seeing an image of it slapping your face.
To be perfectly honest, I saw the images out there, but I was like, why are they bringing up this old stuff? I didn't read anything and I moved on. It wasn't until I came on this channel and sat here and just had it spoiled for me. She's actually coming back. Now, I mean, that's
ruined Deadpool for you.
Honest to God truth. I was just, why are we doing that? Who cares? At the same time, I'll say this. I don't mind looking at Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Sign.
Yeah, I'm with you. Also, just another spoiler here for you guys. Magneto's apparently being rumored to have been on set as well. So again, I'm with you, Luke. If they're doing a Deadpool,
which one are we talking about? Ian McKellen?
No, I think was it Fassbender? I'll get his name wrong. James will tell us about his name wrong.
They're the same. They're the same.
Magneto. Yeah,
this is true.
just a little bit older, yeah. But if we're getting Deadpool kills the universe, that could be very cool and very funny. So yeah, interesting. Von Hoot.
Then maybe we can get a Lou Ferrigno Hulk cameo in there.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be superb.
And now you've said it, we're not going to get it, and now that's what I'm going to want.
Nick Cage Ghost Rider. Yes, come
on. Yes, please. Thank you.
Maybe the Daredevil from the TV show too. When he was the Hulk goes to trial, I believe he was Matt Murdock was in that.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Von Hoot, you asked to put this on. What's this all about?
Yeah. I didn't at all. I have no idea.
No, that was me, Pete.
Oh, it was you. Sorry, GP. You said it. Yeah.
The full Marvel release schedule got leaked online.
Movie schedule.
Everything that's not been announced as well. Ghost Rider and Man-Thing are getting a special presentation treatment.
Oh, really?
So I just wanted to know what everybody's thoughts on was that because
together
by night was absolutely brilliant. No, separately.
Right.
Yeah. I'm all in for that. Like, I think they should be leaning more into these special features and less movies. To be honest, less mini-series, and more one-off features.
I'm all about the monsters. Just give me monsters. Yeah. Inject the monsters into my veins.
Like what you were saying, Peter, about the these little specials and stuff like that. I think we need more out of continuity stuff. Like I don't need it all connected. I just want to see the stories play out.
Yeah, just want a good story.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any comments on this one?
I didn't know about it. Thanks for spoiling it for me, son.
It's not a spoiler. You just know it's going to be coming out.
Yeah, but he didn't know And now he's
Now he
But it's
does,
nothing getting
yeah.
spoiled.
It would have been a
There's a show
surprise.
coming out.
It
So
would have
that's
been a
Deadpool
pleasant
3 was
surprise, but
spoiled.
now it's
Yeah.
right out.
I think, to be fair, we all have to come to terms with the fact that we're on this show. And if
Yeah.
we're on this show,
Yeah.
like, it's
My
gonna
mission
happen.
statement for this show is to spoil as much as I can for you. So, you know, we've spoiled movies. Now let's spoil a few comics and tell you, you know, what's been happening in comics this week. GP. Was it
Yeah.
GP on Sundays? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
So I've been reading Hallows Eve and Ridley Year One. So I'm up to date with Hallows Eve. Is there one more issue or is it still ongoing?
One more to go.
One more. Yeah, really fun comic for Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the Spider titles, this is probably one of my favorites at the
Yeah.
moment. I think she's a great character. It's a new character that I will continue to read.
So is
The-
Spider-Man
it's
actually
just
in
nice.
it?
He does appear.
He appears, but it's not about Spider-Man. It's all about
No.
her. Yeah.
She's Ben Reilly's girlfriend, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
She
is
gets his-
correct. She was Ben Reilly's girlfriend, and then when
Yeah.
he became Chasm, she got powers from the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
Right.
What I hadn't appreciated, and I don't know why, but it never really clicked into my brain, was it, again, spoilers. In this issue, she drops her bag and anyone can use the masks. I thought the
Yeah.
masks were linked to her. Do you know what I mean? I didn't appreciate that anyone
Yeah.
can pick up a mask and use
oh,
it.
that's interesting. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So,
It's going to be good to see how the end the run.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been good
Yeah.
stuff.
The
Riddler's the
Ridley
one I
Year
want
One.
to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ridley Year One. It's not going to be for everybody. Some people, I think, some people won't like the artwork or the way it's written, but I'm enjoying it. It's just great to see get the mindset of how we become the Riddler.
Yeah.
In this new universe.
I know Ben, the attention-seeking geek's been reading that and says it's fantastic because it's written by
It
the
is,
guy
yeah.
who played the Riddler, isn't
Yeah,
it? In the last
it's
Batman
written by
movie?
Paul Dano. Yeah.
Yeah. Good one. Fuzzy's just saying there, I've got a cracking con exclusive Hallows Eve variant coming. Yeah, I think, did you put an image of that on Instagram, Fuzzy? I seem to remember seeing, and it looked amazing. I'm a big fan of the character. Dead Man, Dr. Von Hoot, have you been reading The Gimmick? If so, what do you think? I've not heard of that one. Yeah, not heard of that one. Okay, guys, moving on. So this is DC's big summer event, which, as I think, I can't remember if it was Dead Man or Fuzzy said in the comic show the other day, that surely this should have been put out at Halloween. It's called Night Terrors, and the basic premise is that this guy basically puts all of the DC heroes and villains into a deep sleep where they experience nightmares, so he can wander through the nightmares and find this magic nightmare stone thing that he's after. It's absolutely atrocious. Awful read. Out of the, I think there's 6 issues this week of being out, the only 2 that are semi-decent is the Poison Ivy one, which is a bit of fun, and the Joker one I really enjoyed. So the Joker's version of a nightmare is basically they're on a rooftop and Batman trips over and falls off the edge of the roof and dies. So the Joker has to get kind of a 9-to-5 office job, and it's quite amusing, the kind of the shenanigans that go on. But overall, dreadful. Now, we've talked about artwork before, guys, and I just wanted to get your hot take on some of this artwork. For the premiere mini-series, what do you think of that? That's
It's like
pretty
somebody
good, yeah?
let the
Atrocious.
kid have the tablet and said, "Go draw something."
who did that?
Is that somebody's preliminary sketches or doodles?
This is
I mean,
this is in the actual, like I say, the main book that's supposed to be DC's flagship mini-series. I mean,
And it's all like that, yeah?
but yeah, it is. It's not good art. Now, to be fair, these are kind of
Bloody hell.
blown up images that are smaller in the background. But the fact that you can see it in it stands out to you.
it's
you know
just
what I mean?
rough. Yeah, it's just rough sketch. It's like somebody just
Yeah.
did the roughs and never came back and finished it up. I mean, you're
Yeah. I mean, just awful. Just
Ugh.
absolutely.
Must have Stevie Wonder on quality control over DC.
Just quickly jumping back into the comments here. Fuzzy, shambles, nightmare is a proper word for it. Yeah, mate, it's just not good at all. Dead Man, read the first 3 issues, quite a good tale so far. Dead Man, that's not the DC books we're talking about. Are you talking about Gimmick? Yeah.
Every gimmick, yeah.
Yeah. Harley with a beard. Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, awful, just awful. Right, what about you guys? Have you guys been reading anything you want to mention?
I started reading Void Rivals, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I was totally, surprised by that book. I go, wow, it's a good book. I've never read much like Transformers books. Spoiler, sorry, there's a Transformer in it at the end.
And, you bastard.
Spoiling things.
Stop spoiling things, Efren.
So I like the two factions that are fighting, and then at the end, you know what happens in the first issue. I went, okay, I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I mean, it's by, who's the writer on this? Is it Bendis?
No, it's Kirkman. Yeah.
Kirkman. Sorry, Kirkman. It's quite enjoyable. I like the first issue so far.
I loved it. And the Transformer bit, as you say, is kind of it's a couple of panels, really.
Yeah.
But the actual book surrounding it is brilliant. And I think I mentioned before, it reminds me very much of an old 80s movie. I think it's called Enemy Mine or Alien Mine.
Oh, yes.
Where the two starships crash.
Yes.
And one of them's kind of a brown lizardy kind of creature thing. It's very much like that, how they kind of work together to get off the planet.
One of the Quaid brothers was in that movie too.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right, but yeah.
That was a good movie.
Anyone else been reading anything you want to mention before we move on to what you've been picking up? No, good stuff.
Yeah, I've just been in a big indie mood lately, so I went back and read one of the older comics, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Oh yeah,
Has anybody read this one? So it's I think an adaptation of one of the games. But it's really cool. It's like just before World War II, and it's like Indy and this girl teaming up, and there's a whole bit of like, hanger or not, we're just friends. So that was fun. But it feels like a classic kind of indie adventure. There's a lot of like really funny moments in it and stuff. So yeah, I'd recommend that one.
I think I might have read that a while ago, actually, James. Was that based on a computer game?
Yeah, it's an adaptation of like the point and click.
Game. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, guys, we'll jump on. If nobody else has been reading, I think we'll jump on to what you've been buying. I'm going to start off with just showing you a few books that I've just picked up. And this is all Fuzzy Dunlop's fault. But I just wanted to mention, so basically Fuzzy on his Instagram page, Fuzzy's Instagram page, by the way, guys, is absolutely stunning. You need to check that out. He puts a lot of toy figures, imagery up and comic books that he's buying. Anyway, Fuzzy put this cover up, and I haven't got this one in my collection. So I am a collector of Thor versus Hulk covers, and Fuzzy put that up, which is from the Banners of War series, I think. Really cool. Absolutely phenomenal cover, and as soon as he put it on screen, I knew I had to have a copy. So I jumped on eBay and spotted it and bought a copy. Now, what's interesting about this is not only did I get that's what I bought. They also sent us the trade dress free of charge, which was very kind of them. And then they've also sent this, which is a Star Wars Crimson Reign limited edition comic. And it's signed by the artist, which is Tyler Kirkham.
Nice.
Right.
So really, really nice. Now, I honestly didn't realize this when I went on eBay and bought it, but it's one of my regular watchers. So it's a YouTuber who recognized my name, and he sent us a note with it saying, "Hi Peter, I've added the trade to match the Virgin as a thank you for the shits and giggles we all love to watch. The other book has been added to go towards your giveaways. All the best, John." So over the moon with that, John. Thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you. Totally by chance that I bought from you. And this is lovely. This is a great signed book that I will add into my giveaway pile. So thank you very much for that, bud. And thank you, Fuzzy, for pointing us in the right direction of that book, because it's not a one I'd seen before. So stunning.
That's as I like to say, and people love to hear me say it. It's a proper job.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. So thank you very much, guys. Right, anybody else got any pickups this week they want to show off? We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So Rob, we'll start with you, my friend.
All right. This week there was a couple things came in. The old I'm a sucker for some J. Scott Campbell, especially when he's drawing the girls. Yeah. So there was a little 3-pack.
Wow.
Although I'm not quite sure why she's wearing just one stocking.
Yeah, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Mary Jane's freckles on her thighs.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
All right, lads, calm down.
And the hip hop street variants. Someone's got to help Mary Jane out. Her pants are falling apart.
Yeah,
That's fine.
But so those came in. That was great. An incentive variant for Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red.
Have you read it, Rob?
I have, and actually, this is like now my third copy of this incentive by mistake because I order things sometimes and forget that I ordered them and I order them somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I was really like after this cover, which was just phenomenal.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's like graded.
I had picked this up and put this in my cart, and apparently forgot to take it out of my cart because I ended up getting this one.
Yeah.
But this one, so I decided I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to send this to EGS because I think it would look stellar with a black and red label with an Imperial symbol and stuff on there. And then I'm going to make that something that becomes available at Comics Curing Cancer in October when we do our big auctions and stuff. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that's what came in this week.
Very cool. Rob, whilst I've got you big on screen, can I just give you a huge thank you? And I'm sure Von Hoot will join us in this. Last week, you showed off a stunning Metal Transformers double-signed comic. And you messaged me and Von Hoot earlier in the week and told her that it was back in stock. I went through, and I don't know, I haven't spoken to Von Hoot, but I think he probably had the same. I went through
he ran into a problem in that when I bought yours for you, which is coming, it took it out of availability again. So they're like into like such a low count of inventory that as soon as one sells, they shut it down basically. So I've put myself on notify again so they can notify me if it becomes available again so I can pick one up for DVH. Because
if it happens, it happens. But I've sort of come to peace with the fact it's that
particular
book
probably
isn't going to happen.
I didn't realize that, Von. I was going to thank Rob because I couldn't get it to accept my card for whatever reason.
No, same thing.
But what we can do, we'll have like a timeshare, Von Hoot. You can have it weekends, and I'll have it during the week or something.
Split custody.
Yeah, why not?
But I wanted to thank you, Rob, for doing that for us. It was much
no, it was no worries. It was one of those things where it's a great book, but unfortunately, their sales was restricting you to U.S. only. Or US and Canada, whatever. And so even when you were trying to ship it to me as a ship to address, it was looking at your bill to, and it was rejecting you based on your bill to address. So I had to make the purchase for you and do it. But I'm happy to be a proxy on something like that. Help somebody get a book, because I'm sure if something comes up like that the other way around, you guys would be more than happy to reciprocate and help me out. So
the interesting thing is, not to go into loads of details, but the interesting thing is they've actually put a hold on my card as well. But I kind of got through to the last stage. So they've put a hold on the $300, $200.
It'll fall off. It falls off after a few days. So.
Yeah. But thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Efren, have you got anything you want to show, bud? I'm trying to drag you across there. There we go. You're muted, mate.
My bad. You may know this guy. I follow him, and on Saturdays he has a show right before yours, and I entered I'm going to enter it. See, he has giveaways in between, during the show. I go, I'm going to put my name down, and I got something from him, so I'm going to open it up.
Very cool.
World's greatest comic book packaging.
Yes, I was about to mention that. And I also got this comes with a free comic book pressing. I don't know if you can read.
Oh
this.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's right. You won the special. That was during that wasn't the normal only slabs. This was the special. The special on Sunday that we had with the Rogue Trader. We were doing my Timely Comics Submariner book that had gone through Molder mediation and everything else, and we sat down and discussed what the Rogue Trader had done to the book and everything else. And during the giveaway, he threw in 5 free pressings. And Efren won. So he got 5 free comic book pressings.
That was a super interesting stream, just so you know. And everybody should go back and watch it if you haven't seen it.
I've not had a chance to catch up with that one yet. I'm going to have to jump on. I wanted to watch it live, but I missed, unfortunately.
But tell me how hassle-free that packaging was. You just opened that and went right to it, huh?
Yes,
super well packed, but you didn't have to fight tape. What the hell? Why didn't you have to fight tape?
Yeah, and you have a good video on that, which I follow. And every time I package stuff, I go back and I watch that video before I start packing stuff. I'm like, God, he's right. I will pack sometimes. So, but it's great.
Sending stuff to Rob is quite. Terrifying, just so you know.
And I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see
No,
it.
what's that? If I can't see
This is
that.
my
one,
only slabs, 9.8. You know, some stickers,
very cool.
and here's the books. So basically, you know what Rob does when you win something, he just brings out his short box and he just goes through them, and somebody tells him to stop, and he just picks out the books. So let me put this down here. And the first book that you picked out for me, I went, oh my God. I'll go, that is awesome. I go, anything after that, you know, would have been, you know, excellent. But the first one was this one.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Dang. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Some more beautiful J. Scott Campbell goodness.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And the second one, I believe, was this one, which I didn't buy. And I was like, dang, man, these are some good books.
Oh, Power Girl.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Nice.
And how many I got? A few left here. I love this cover. It says, "You're the villains, evil unleashed."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Perillo cover, yeah.
And we have the sensational Spider-Man.
Oh, very cool. Is that Sandman? And what's that? Who's that on the front? Oh, Molten Man.
Molten Man.
Yeah, Molten Man, yeah. And from Detective Comics, an older book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's interesting you showing that one. So I was messaging back and forth with Ben, the attention-seeking geek, today, and he showed us that comic because he's going to potentially, well, he's just bought a cosplay, which is a character featured in that comic. So yeah, it's a very cool book. Very cool book.
And the last one is Fury #1.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
The only book that I had from this set was the first one, the J. Scott Campbell one. And
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys, last year at Comic-Con, I give away free comic books if somebody comes up to me during San Diego Comic-Con and just say hi. So these books, I'm going to be giving them away, you know, just to pay it forward, so to speak, at the con. Everybody comes up to me, and I'll have all that information on my Instagram page later on.
Very kind of you. Very good stuff. Very good. And again, just before we move on to the next person, just to remind people that on Rob's show on a Saturday night, Only Slabs, he gives 2 sets of books away. So twice during the course of the show, you can win. And you ship anywhere in the world, Rob?
I pretty much do. Yeah, I don't limit myself yet. I haven't been hosed on it, so.
Yeah, so if you want to win some comics, always worth checking out.
In fact, DVH got gift prize tagged today.
I got some amazing books tonight on Only
first
Slabs. I mean,
Omega Supreme.
Top
wow.
tier stuff.
Yeah,
but
very
I was
cool.
just like, boop, my brain
Very cool.
exploded.
I give away good books.
Yeah.
You do.
Superb. Luke, have you got anything you want to show off, mate?
So yeah, I haven't bought anything, but I do want to show this off because like I said, I've been going through this room. I've been opening up boxes to put new displays up and everything else. And I found something which I don't think many people have. So I haven't found somewhere to put it yet. But
Oh, Johnny 5.
Johnny 5 robot.
Nice.
So yeah, I absolutely love this guy. Love this character. I have no idea where I'm going to put him because he doesn't fit in any of these cabinets behind me.
Yeah,
He's too tall. So at the moment, he's just sat on my desk.
Very nice.
So
Is that from the second movie or the first movie?
So the second movie where he's got loads of them all lined up on the table outside. So I think it's a replica. I don't think it's one of the originals, but it's,
very cool. I like that.
Very
Luke.
nice
I
to
like
see.
that.
Yeah, brilliant.
James, have you got anything you want to show?
Yes, I was on Thursday. I went to a show. I'm a big fan of a YouTube channel called Mr. Sunday Movies, and they do a podcast called The Weekly Planet. But he also does another podcast called Suggestible with his wife Claire Tonti. Yeah. So she was here in Dublin doing a show called Matrescence. Now I know I'm not the target audience for this because it's about like the transition into motherhood. So it was an interesting environment for me to be in, but it was actually like a great show. Like she does a lot, some really really passionate talks, and then some fantastic songs as well. So she's doing a few more UK gigs, I believe. So if anybody here is interested, I'd recommend it strongly. But yeah, it was a great show, and she was like genuinely one of the nicest, most like genuine people I've ever met. Like really.
So what's the show about? Transition to motherhood?
Yeah. So matrescence it's like adolescence is like childhood. Matrescence is like your transition into motherhood. So yeah, it's just talking about the kind of your mental health at that time and everything.
I mean,
a lot.
Please tell us you were the only male there, James.
No, there was like there was like 4 or 5 of us that like from the fan group of the podcast that like went and met beforehand, so we all didn't have to go in alone. And then I got to meet like the editor of the podcast, Rock Collins. He was like fantastic as well. So like it was a really great night.
Well, I would imagine it was a great night because you were sending me pictures at 2:00 in the morning. Was it?
We went to the bar after 4 a.m. I had a 3 a.m. Curry, I think, at the Riverside, just out on a wall. So yeah, it was good fun.
Good stuff. Fuzzy's just jumping in there saying Short Circuit 2 is one of the worst sequels ever made. Fuzzy, I can't even remember
love it.
mate.
I absolutely love it.
Can't remember it.
I mean, it hasn't aged well, but I do love it. Like the brown face is probably not a good look these days.
Yeah,
but it's a great movie though.
I feel like that's the only problem with it. If you really narrow it down, it's just a fun movie. Other than that,
okay. JP, have you got anything you want to show off, mate?
Just a little bit. So after doing the Transformers show on Monday, I felt a bit nostalgic. So got myself on eBay and picked up the Transformers annual from 1988.
Good man. I had that one. That's got an amazing story in it. Megatron. Yeah.
So I remember having this when I was a kid, but the condition of it is so good. There's no nobody's name written in it.
Yeah.
No, they normally used to put your name up here at Christmas.
Yeah.
And the pages are just still white. Still white pages. So
that's amazing.
I bought that, and I've got a Thundercats one coming.
Oh, right.
Nice.
And a Beano book, because I was a Beano kid.
Yeah.
So
they still do Beano books.
I think they do.
It's still a weekly comic, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, like the annual, like because my gran used to get me an annual every year,
every Christmas.
Yeah. My mum used to get me to do the same for me, so I thought I'd pick one up because I'm a bit nostalgia buzz. Then I'm actually upgraded one of my books, and I ended up getting the Batman Spawn hardcover.
Oh, nice.
So I've got the original Frank Miller, Todd McFarlane one.
Yeah.
But this has got the other story in it as well, which I've never read.
Right.
So
which is the one where the last panel is him throwing the Batarang into the center of Spawn?
That's the Todd McFarlane and Frank Miller one. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Batman breaks Spawn's neck in it. So
yeah,
and then just a couple of little omnibuses. I picked up The Boys, Volume 1.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with The Boys. Yeah.
Not read it yet. And then I got Hack Slash, Volume 1.
Never read that. It's meant to be very good, but I've never read that one.
I was picking up the Hack Slash versus Chaos.
Yeah.
That was out the other year. I was picking that up in singles and really good. So I thought I really like the character.
It's fun, but it's fun and it's a good read, but it's simple. You know, I mean, it doesn't have like a deep story, but it is fun. Like
get Chucky in it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There you go. And then the last one is Sandman, Volume 1. So I just recently watched a Netflix show and picked this up. I've read the first issue. It's actually really good and easy to follow, Pete.
That's one of those books that everybody keeps saying, "Oh, you should read.
It's
you should read."
Book, just come on.
I don't know. It's just never. I'll have to get it. I will get it, and I'll have a go.
You need to put some time in with it. It's not something you can just flick through, but it's properly good. I mean, really top tier. Fuzzy.
I love that Transformer Ecto one.
Yeah,
I nearly picked that one up myself a while ago, mate. It looks amazing. I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet, but I think I will. Dave's asking you, GP, what's the PSA Sport on your shelf?
That is Marcus Rashford from the 2018 World Cup. It's in a PSA 9. So, not the most expensive card.
Means no to his sport.
That's the only slab I've got in my collection.
Is he one of those people that kicks the ball and stuff? Is he?
Yeah, that's one of them people. Yeah, but he had a really good season last season, Manchester United. So
cracking. Moving on quickly from that. Yeah. Who's that? Von Hoot? Have you showed anything yet?
Not yet, but let's go. Let's do this. And I can show this now because I've already put the video up. But
First Lobo.
Yeah, I watched that the day.
Yeah, very cool.
So happy to get this, and it was so cheap. I can't believe how reasonably priced this is.
Right,
at 9.6.
Yeah,
it's like 120 quid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And he's a character that's got legs as well. I think he's
That's
just
what I'm
waiting for
thinking.
his
That's
big
why I
break,
think
you know.
I'm tempted to buy another 3 of them and just leave them because
Yeah.
like
Very cool.
it's an amazing cover that I've always wanted. Like so, at that price,
It's definitely
can't
good,
say
man.
no,
You can
can you?
sit, you can
Can't
sit
say
on
no.
that for until it becomes popular, and that'll shoot up. Definitely.
exactly.
Excellent. Okay, guys. Anybody have missed? No. Grand. Let's Von Hoot. Let's crack on and talk a little bit about what we've been watching lately. We're just going to quickly canter through these. Von Hoot, was it you that sent us this?
No,
or was
it's
it
me again.
JP?
It's me again.
Yeah.
So
You both look too similar. That's the issue, GP. You could
I
do
look like
with
a
doing
Mao.
something to distinguish yourself. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I'll paint my face and wear a mask. If that makes it easier. Yeah, so just finished watching season 10. So I'm
Right.
on the last season now.
Yeah.
Getting back into it because I really want to watch the Dead City one with Negan and Maggie.
Yeah,
Looks
that
really
does
awesome.
look quite good. I'm waiting for that.
So I watched this was it earlier in the year or something, and much to my surprise, I thoroughly enjoyed the last season. It was far better than I was expecting. There's some good standalone horror episodes. I'd be interested to hear what you think, GP, about an episode where they're stuck in a house, which is very, very creepy. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
But
that is a good one. Yeah,
just watched the one where Negan's backstory. That was absolutely brilliant. Like one of my favorite episodes.
Good stuff. I haven't caught up with the new show yet, the Dead City thing, but be interesting to catch. I wanted to just very briefly mention this. Anybody watch Black Mirror? Anybody a fan of the Black Mirror series?
I'm a fan of it, but I haven't watched. I didn't even know it was back. I haven't watched anything new.
So Black Mirror, if you like your kind of your sci-fi horror type stories, Rob, this is the one that you should maybe try and check out if you haven't seen it already. It's standalone episodes, so kind of anthology episodes. Quite often are based around tech.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. It's very kind of Twilight Zone-esque.
Yes, yeah. Like I say, quite often based around technology and things. This season is only 5 episodes, and unlike a lot of these kind of shows, this one hasn't dropped a beat for me. I loved every single episode. There's, again, some technology-based ones, but there's some real proper, if you like as I know some of the people on the channel do, your creature feature kind of monsters and things like that. There's one episode in particular which is a complete shocker. It takes a turn that I wasn't expecting. But some real clever sci-fi. This guy is incredible. This is I'm not going to spoil it, but he's in the last episode. I've watched them all over the last two nights, and I would really recommend you go and check this out because this season is superb. So well worth a watch. Fuzzy saying he loves Black Mirror. Dave dipped in and out. I would recommend, like I say, watching this last season, guys. Just see what you think of it. Very cool. Secret Invasion. Anybody watch this week's episode yet?
Yep.
What do you think, James?
It's losing me a little bit. I don't know what it is. It's like it feels like it's dragging and rushing at the same time in like a weird way. It's a lot of just kind of standing and talking and not much exciting happening. I know there's like sort of what's supposed to be a tense sequence at the end of this episode, but I just didn't feel like it never felt like at risk. Like I didn't feel like anything bad was really going to happen. And sometimes if a character gets shot, I think it's supposed to be a big dramatic death, but you just don't know if that's like an art going to stick or not, you know. And I just feel like they're not really utilizing the scroll thing as well as they could be. And I know there's probably going to be a big surprise this character was a scroll, but like they just haven't done that so far, and we're halfway through the season. So like I think there's still time to to roll it back, but like I'm enjoying it, but it's not as good as I think.
Not exploding. It's not kind of exciting you. Anybody else watching it?
I've watched the first episode. I haven't watched the others yet. So.
Okay, well, and we will not do spoilers, but Von Hoot, you're nodding away there. Are you enjoying it?
I watched it a couple of hours ago, and this is going to shock you, James, but I think I might agree with you.
Now stop the press. That has never happened on this show before.
Can we be friends now?
Hang on, let's. I mean, I swear to God, if Luke agrees with the pair of you, the internet will just explode. Do you know what I mean?
I think this episode in particular, you felt some sort of stalling, sort of like, and not particularly tight tension. Like they're going for tension, but it's not sort of.
And a lot of the
I think the
conversations are
scroll
just
thing is
the
difficult.
same thing
thing
we've heard as well. Like it's just
yeah.
meandering. Sorry, you were saying
there's a lot of repetitive sort of verbiage, and also I sort of think the scroll are counterproductive in a way in this sort of in the show that they're making. It might actually be better if they were just regular spies and stuff like that, so you didn't have to worry about them shapeshifting, because then you'd feel that there were some stakes maybe, because they could all just be Skrulls at the end of the day. And the fact that they keep killing people and they turn into Skrulls as they hit the ground just makes me think every single time, well, they're all just Skrulls. It doesn't really matter. Like, there are no stakes to this.
I tell you, just in relation to that, Von, one of the things that kind of jumped into my mind, because you're right, I think we've had 3 episodes now where there's been a Skrull death. Every time they just leave the body where it is. It's not much of a secret kind of thing if there's just
That's a very good point.
Bodies lying in the woods all over, you know?
Yeah.
Anybody else watching it? Rob, are you up to speed with it?
I started to watch the first episode. I fell asleep. So I decided I'm going to bank it, and I'm just going to watch all at once, because Disney shows, I'm tired of watching this ebb and flow that goes, and then feeling like 1 week going, oh, this was a good episode, or oh, this was a bad episode, and then trying to go, but I'm now invested until we get to the end, and then they make it all up. I just want to be able to string it all together at once, and then be able to see, either have a nice go, okay, hey, cool, I liked it, and because I saw it all at once, or go, wow, that just sucked. I'm glad I only did it all at once.
And that's achievable with a series, I guess, when it's only 6 episodes or so.
Exactly.
If it's like a 24 episode, it's a bit of a
bit
of a try. Anybody got anything different to add? No, sorry, James, you're going to say, mate?
I think like for like the Star Wars shows, most of them, I think you feel at the end of it, that could have been a movie, and that probably would have been a really good movie. I've not ever felt that with the Marvel shows, but I think this one does feel a bit like this would have been better with like a bit of a bigger budget, got a few of the bigger cast in it, and tighten the story a bit.
I'm not writing it off. I still think it has quite a lot of potential and could end up being quite gripping. It's just we're in the middle ground at the moment, and it feels like that.
So and I liked James's comment, because it applies to so many Disney things, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars. Well, I'm hurrying up and rushing at the same time I'm drawing it out and stalling.
Yeah. We've got a few comments. I think a few people are agreeing with you guys. Sean's saying there it's a bit slow. Big Dave, Invasion's getting poorer by the episode. Fuzzy's disagreeing. I'm loving Secret Invasion. I think it's been stellar writing, fantastic acting, and it's still got my attention. So I'm firmly with Fuzzy. I'm really enjoying this. I like the spy. The stuff that you guys are describing as maybe he's not necessarily enjoying, I'm enjoying immensely. I love the back and forth between Talos and Sam Jackson in the car, and that it feels real to me. So yeah, I'm enjoying it more than I expected to enjoy it. It's got very little in relation to the Secret Invasion miniseries. Let's be honest.
I did think the dialogue was really good between the two of them. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I think he has a good point about the performances. Like the cast is on point. I don't think anyone's been bad in it at all. Like Mendelsohn's fantastic, Jackson's fantastic, Olivia Colman. I love her character, and we've not seen that much of her. So
it did occur to me she wasn't in this episode. Spoilers, and I think that's a real step backwards whenever she's not there, because she's always like the highlight of each episode.
She is in the episode.
Is she?
He phones her, doesn't he?
Yeah, he phones her because she has the thing about she's put the eye patch on the.
Sorry, my bad. Just shut up.
Didn't even bloody watch it, man. Didn't watch it. You've been watching the wrong show. You've been watching bloody Neighbours repeats again, probably. Okay, Fuzzy is just saying that Ben. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. He's a tremendous actor. You're absolutely right. He's superb in this. Now, this is the one that's been recommended to us by my friend Dave. Don't know if you guys have seen this. This is A Small Light. Anybody caught up with this?
Is this
this is all about
Anne Frank thing?
Yeah, it's all about Anne Frank. So Dave's recommended, so I will check that one out, because I do. I do find that kind of historical stuff really interesting. So yeah, one to recommend, one to check out, guys. It sounds pretty cool. Fuzzy is just saying the one-on-one between, yeah, absolutely, that in the restaurant was superb. The conversation, mate. You're absolutely right. I just wanted to briefly mention this. This is Blackbird. Has anybody heard or seen this?
So I've seen a few clips of this on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and I want to watch it. It looks fantastic.
So
I saw the first episode, and it was good, but didn't get me to keep watching it.
Yeah.
So
it gets better. So my son watched something, as James has just described, on TikTok or something, and got me, my wife, to sit and watch this, and it's really engaging. It's based on a true story about a guy who was into drugs and gun running and things like that, and he ends up going to jail, into a high security prison, to try and befriend this psycho who they think has killed 12 or 13 young girls, and they've only caught him for 2. And basically his job is to try and get him to disclose where the other bodies are buried. But it's been really good. It's only 6 episodes, I think, so it's a nice easy watch, but it's quite disturbing at times as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. Dave's saying Blackbird is superb, very good. Yeah. The Banksy job on Disney Plus is worth watching. Very interesting documentary about a guy who stole a Banksy statue. Not seen that one, Fuzzy.
That sounds interesting. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch that one as well.
I'm definitely going to watch that as soon as possible. I had no idea it existed.
Yeah,
I'm
very cool.
Going to do that tomorrow.
Oh, now Von Hoot.
Yeah,
right up my wheelhouse here.
This has just come onto Disney Plus in the UK, and it's amazing. I've got the entire series on DVD, but I haven't watched them in ages, and I only just started watching it again today, and it's still funny as it's really well observed. Everybody in the cast is great in it, and I just think it's a superb comedy that everybody should check out. And it's on Disney Plus, so you might as well watch something good.
So this is obviously Home Improvement, superb series. Tim Allen is immense in it, absolutely. In fact, the whole cast are, but Tim Allen is superb. So yeah, well worth checking out. It reminded me to go back and watch another favorite of mine from the 80s, which is Married with Children. Anybody watch Married with Children back in the day? Love that show, love it. And there's there's loads of them on YouTube, clips of Al and how he speaks to people in his shoe shop when he's kind of challenging the customers and things. Great fun, worth watching. Fuzzy's saying he's on to season 3 of Home Improvements already. Yeah, Fuzzy.
Yeah. Then you got to watch the sequel, Last Man Standing. It's basically a sequel.
Yeah, same. Superb series. Okay, guys, I gave you a little bit of homework, and that was to go away and think of who you think is the GOAT, the greatest superhero of all time. And this hasn't got to be based on comic sales or anything like that. It's just who you really enjoy reading or who you think is one of the best heroes around. Now, surprisingly, I was expecting one character to come from 2 of you, and I didn't get it. So Spider-Man does not appear in this list at all, which is interesting. Yeah. I was sure you or Rob would put Spider-Man forward.
I was sure that other people would put it, hence why I didn't put it.
Yeah. So now James hasn't picked, so James might save you and say Spider-Man. But we're going to start off with this one. Luke.
Yes.
Tell her about Doc Savage.
So, yeah, he's, to put it simply, he is the first real superhero. This is what every other superhero is somewhat based on. I'm not sure if anyone else here in the group or in the chat is familiar with Doc Savage, but you're Indiana Jones, like what we were talking about before. He's the Man of Bronze, aka the Man of Steel. He has a Fortress of Solitude. All these different things. And this guy came out in the 30s. I think it was hang on, I wrote it down somewhere. I just got to be able to find the 1933 in pulp magazines. So he predates everyone. And yeah, his adventures and the things that he went on, he is the original superhero. So I mentioned all of this Well, he is because he predates.
No. Sorry, no. I was trying to say before. No, I was going to say, is he in anything at the moment, Luke? Because I don't think I've read anything of his for a long time.
To my knowledge, he's not in anything at the moment. But Marvel did try to bring the character back. He's in a lot of those like 70s, 80s style comic books that were doing the rounds at the time. A lot of the like Pence issues that we would get over here. Yeah. So they did try to revive the character. I'm not sure if anyone's doing anything with him at the moment. I don't even know if he's public domain. I don't know. Like you would assume he is, given the age of the character. But yeah, there's so much there. When you actually look into it, I'm very surprised how all these other characters have been able to take from his story to make it their own.
Have I had any movies or anything? Doc Savage movies?
They did. They done a live action Doc Savage movie again, I think in the 80s. I think that's when they tried to do this resurgence of the character, and it obviously didn't take. It obviously failed. But we did have a lot of this stuff all happen. There's a lot of novels that are released, like proper paperback novels as opposed to comics. And then obviously we've got the comics and the pulp magazines as well. Rob, are you familiar with this character?
I'm very familiar with him. I have some of his Bronze Age stuff, but the simple fact that he's not prevalent today, or even during the Bronze Age, he wasn't really a big character. Until you go back, unless you go back to the Golden Age, he's not really a significant character. So I don't see that it makes him the GOAT. It may make him an important figure and a very influential figure.
I think that's what I was leaning towards with the influence. I find it very surprising that he can be that Indiana Jones character or have that Fortress of Solitude and it not be so more well known. I find it shocking.
I love this character because him and Indiana Jones were like the primary basis for Uncharted and Nathan Drake, which is my favorite character of all time. Like Doc Savage was quoted as like a particularly big influence on that. So I've read a few of them. Early comics, they're not very complicated. They're extremely simple. It's kind of a new thing at the time. But like I love the pulpy 30s adventure hero. It's great. Treasure.
I don't think I've ever read a comic with him in.
Otherwise, Peter, my choice is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Fair.
I picked Doc Savage because I assumed someone would pick Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean, this is interesting. So I've asked you to pick the GOAT. Do you know what I mean? And you've come with Doc Savage, which is interesting. And, out of all of it, I would have expected that of you, Luke, to come with something interesting. But then we get this. What
the big blue bug of justice.
Awesome. Rob, explain yourself.
You're a genius, Rob. You're a genius.
The big blue bug of justice is amazing. So amazing that this is just obviously a joke. But when you talk about the GOAT, and look, I'm not a Superman reader or anything else, but when it comes to the superhero that is the pinnacle that everybody else is compared to and Superman is there. I have to recognize the fact that that's the one that a lot of us, that's the first superhero that we start to kind of recognize and get excited about. Later on, we go off and find other ones and we complain about how he's too vanilla and too tried and true and, Boy Scout and this, that, and the other thing. But the fact of the matter is, it's just because you're comparing your other heroes to Superman.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when I think of the heroes that mean the most to me, it's those that inspire us. And when I show you my pick later on, I'll explain that. But for me, that's the whole purpose of Superman. People do describe him as vanilla and dull and boring and stuff like that, but he's supposed to represent the very best of what. That's the pinnacle. Do you know what I mean?
And I grew up. We used to watch. I saw the George Reeves stuff, Superman stuff on TV over and over and over again. And of course, then the Christopher Reeves movies when those first came out. I mean, that was changed the game for superhero movies. That a superhero movie could be something that was drew everybody, multiple walks of life into the movie to go see it, and is still, I think, the original Superman Christopher Reeves movies one of the greatest of all time.
I think that's probably the best argument for Superman is that Christopher Reeves movie, because it did absolutely change the game and make everybody pay attention. Like that is a fantastic movie.
And you know what?
And you believe a man can fly.
Yeah, the special effects actually still stand up. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The flying scene.
Just enough to be amazing, but not so much that it became like, oh wow, that's so fake.
Yeah.
Do you think the movie would still have worked if it wasn't Christopher Reeves, though? Do you think it was actually him as an actor that actually brought all this to what it is?
I think he brought a lot of heart and humanity to the role.
He is brilliant in his role. I mean, you can. There's a scene where you can physically see him change from Clark Kent to Superman just because of a shift in posture, which is brilliant acting. Like I challenge anyone to argue against it. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm not saying there isn't somebody else that could have done that, but I am saying he did do that, and it is that good.
It would take I think any really, really good actor could have filled the role if they believed in it. I think the thing is that, the thing that made Christopher Reeves work well in it is that it was a role that a lot of good actors necessarily didn't want to do because that's kid stuff, superhero stuff. I don't, blah, blah. It's not like today where they are lining up to try to put on tights and be a superhero and be in one of these big action movies.
Yeah. James, you're, dare I say it, a younger man than most on the panel. Have you seen the original Superman? Do you have a fondness for it, or is it?
I'm not really a fan, to be honest.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
No, I think I watched them at the wrong time. I wasn't like a kid. I wasn't really young, and at the time I didn't have much of an appreciation for like older movies. Like even the original Star Wars as a kid, I wasn't crazy about. There's only like the newer ones, and then I went back and appreciated it. I haven't watched them in a few years, so maybe if I watch them now, I will feel of that.
It's mind-boggling to me in some regards. And again, I'm going back, so I might be wrong in my memory of it. But if you think about a modern superhero movie, it's a lot of it is based around the action and the battling and stuff like that. In the original Superman movie, there's an incredible scene where Superman's trying to get into Lex Luthor's lair, and there's like machine guns off his chest and flame. That was cut out from the theatrical release for some reason, and it only appeared in like the special editions later on. It's just strange that they chose to cut
to hit the rating that they want. The movie rating they wanted in order to make it. They didn't want to cross because you didn't have PG-13, so they wanted to keep it a PG rating. And to be able to get the thing they didn't want to get an R rating.
Yeah. We've got lots of comments coming in here from Fuzzy and from Jack and people saying that Batman and Superman are very much the top tier, I think. Efren, you've gone slightly different in terms of the Superman characters, but you've gone from a character that I think inspires a lot of people. Tell us a little bit about Daredevil.
Yeah, every time Peter and I talk about who our favorite superheroes are, my Daredevil to me is the first one, always comes to my mind, who is, Matt Murdock, who, as a child, he got hit by a radioactive truck, some fluid or liquid, and he basically, he went blind, but his other senses were heightened, a sense of, like his hearing. And he does have like a radar where he can see figures, but not like, people who aren't blind. And just, I like him because he's a street level hero. And he has his human frailties. He's gone through hell and back, so to speak. And this character just resonates with me. I just really like him. I think he's the best character in Marvel, and he's the one character that fought off the King in Black in the Venom series. His faith was so strong that he fought off being transformed. The King in Black. Captain America got transformed by the King in Black. He became a demon. But Daredevil was so strong, and his faith carried him through. And if anybody has been reading The Punisher that just ended a couple of months ago, this book is, goes hand in hand with it, because they fight against each other in the series. And I just really, really enjoy this character. If there's a Daredevil book, I will read it.
Have you read the latest issue, Efren?
I'm a little bit behind. I'm about 2 issues behind. I know what happens to him, but spoilers.
I think for me, because I know, and again, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, Efren, but I know you quite often talk about the religious element of this character in terms of his faith. So I'm not a particularly religious person, but I am a person of faith, I guess you would say, in terms of how can I describe it? people and integrity and the belief in trying to be better and all that kind of stuff. And that's what always resonates with me with Daredevil. It's his kind of his belief and his moral side. And that comes out in the latest issue. I think you'll find the latest issue very interesting.
I was brought up religious. I'm Catholic. My parents brought me up Catholic. So that stuck with me also. And plus, Elektra became Daredevil, and to me, it was like a really smooth transition. Her becoming Daredevil. Both of them fit. Becoming Daredevil. I just really enjoy this character. Just his intricacies, his failures. And he keeps on picking himself up. So that's why I chose this character.
I'm going to spoil it for people, but there's a really cool bit in the latest issue, which James will probably like because it's almost lightsabers, where basically he's in the underworld fighting and he gets his batons and he hits them onto his horns, and pulls out 2 lightsabers made out of energy to fight the demons. It's mental. It's mental. You know what I mean? But it's superb. Very cool pick, Efren. Now, GP and Von Hoot picked the same character, the Bat,
the actual goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two people is picking the same character.
Yeah,
he's the goat.
Exactly.
This would be my choice as well.
3 people.
So this is your choice as well, James.
My choice is also Batman. Yeah.
Okay. So one of you tell a little bit about this. We'll start maybe with GP.
Yeah, Batman's always been a character I've gone to. Grew up on the 66 TV show. That's how I really got introduced to Batman.
Yeah.
Being in a small town in the northeast of England, you don't come across comics much.
Yeah.
So it's always a character that's resonated with me and always one I've liked. And if you think about what makes a character or a person the goat of their particular field, it's always based on a monetary thing. So who brings in the bigger crowds? It's always been Batman.
Was the Bat. Yeah. It's interesting you're talking about kind of the impact in the Northeast when you were younger. I loved Batman when I was younger, and I don't know if I've told anyone the story, but my dad had a big workshop when I was younger, and he was very inappropriate as a father, I have to say, in terms of the stuff he would buy us and build us. But he built us a grappling hook. So basically a massive long bit of rope with a metal hook, grappling hook on the end. And I would go and throw it up trees and climb trees and stuff. And I remember being at my friend's house, and we had, the coal houses? I don't know if you had them in the States, but like an outhouse kind of thing. And we're on the roof of that, and I threw my grappling hook and jumped off, expecting to swing like Batman. And what actually happened was the rope tightened around my chest. Winded us. Have you ever been winded like the?
Yeah.
Horrific. So I went home and threw it at my dad. But there we go. So yeah, I do like a bit of Batman as well. Von Hoot, you picked the Bat. So what does he mean to you?
I mean, he's the Dark Knight at the end of the day. And his drive is just so admirable. Like and also right, I do agree there is some logic to Superman being the GOAT, but I would argue that Superman's the guy that puts the fire out. Like he always comes after the fact and then sorts everything out. Whereas Batman does all the detective and hard work to find out what happened, and then he just wants to punch evil in the face. That's the important thing. He just wants
that's the Phantom smash punch evil, isn't it? The Phantom. I'm sure that was the tagline.
But I mean, but he does though like that. He's an obsessive,
but
over just justice and making people understand that they're doing something wrong.
Batman's method, though, is I love Batman, but you said Superman puts out the fire. Batman's putting gas on the fire first and burning people out of the city.
I can see the argument
flirting with the line of whether or not he's the problem or not. At the end of the day, happens to fall on the right side of justice more often than not.
Okay, can I just add for clarity? Batman's always got a plan to take down Superman anyway.
True. I mean, if we were just going on a sort of who would win
of justice, because we know that the Tick is justice.
James T. You picked Batman. What do you think of Batman?
Unparalleled. Like, it's not even close, guys. I think this is one of the deepest characters ever. Like, there are books written about the psychology of this character. And yeah, like I think Rob said, you can make the argument, is he the problem? And that's such an interesting idea, I think. The appeal of him, like I had a lot of friends who like had nothing nerdy to them at all. Like don't like make fun of that stuff, but they'll go see Batman because they love Batman. Even like my parents would watch like The Dark Knight, you know, which is like unlike anything else, and so malleable. Like you have like the 60s, this weird, campy, goofy, funny version, and then The Dark Knight, which is very serious and realistic, and then the Batman, which is even grittier, and they're all good. They all work, even though they're so drastically different. And I don't think every character could do that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in The Dark Knight is right at the beginning, and he's driving a race car, Bruce Wayne rather than Batman, and he thinks to himself, "This would be a good death." Like because he's pushing it so hard because he's a bit bored because he's Batman and he's just not Batman anymore. But it's not good enough, and that's the start of that story. And it sums up Batman to me. Like he won't die, like because of like his sheer will. Like it's all about sheer willpower. He's amazing. Love Batman.
There's a book coming out where Batman is going to give up the identity of Bruce Wayne. He's just going to be Batman 24/7. It's coming out about a month or so. I really want to read that book. I just want to see the difference. You know.
I love that. I can't remember if it's in the story or one of the movies and they've done it a few times when they explain, you know, that Batman's not the mask, Bruce Wayne's the mask that he's wearing, kind of thing, you know. So it's interesting, guys. So this has been a really interesting discussion. I'm going to show you mine in a second, and I guess, you know, Fuzzy's made a comment there. This was the GOAT versus your favorite or interesting characters. Fair enough, but for me, what I focus on when I'm thinking of the GOAT is a character that inspires us. I can set my morals to it, I guess. I love the character of Batman, but he does not inspire me at all. This is not how I want humanity to be. So if I was picking somebody that I see as the GOAT, and like I say, it's a lot about inspiring, I would have gone for Superman, I think. But Rob picked him. So I've gone for someone who I think represents the same values, and that's good old Cap. I think in terms of moral fiber and leadership and all that kind of stuff, he speaks to me in terms of the Boy Scout nature, I guess. And I guess just to demonstrate that, and I don't know if Rob or Ephraim know where this quote came from, because I think it might have been a president or not. But this quote from the Civil War series where he talked, and they tried to do it in the funeral scene in Civil War, but they didn't do it very good. But that to me sums up Captain America and what I want from my heroes, which is that you do the right thing for the right reason at the right time without worrying about the consequences and whatnot. So that for me makes a hero and a GOAT more so than, say, Batman, who, as you said, chucks bodies on a fire. But yeah. Any of you guys know where that original quote came from? Because this is in the I think it's an issue of Spider-Man, but it's Strudan. I can't never pronounce his name. The guy who did what you call it? Babylon 5. Strudansky, I think. Yeah. But I'm sure it's a famous quote from somebody else. I can't remember. Anybody know it? No. But it's a very cool scene. It's basically him talking to Peter Parker when Peter Parker and him are arguing over the whole Civil War agenda. So that's interesting. Like I say,
I think they even brought that into some version of that quote into the movies too.
Yeah, Sharon Carter delivers it when she was talking about it's at Peggy Carter's funeral, and she kind of does it, but doesn't do it justice in terms of that.
You want to hear?
To be fair, Pete, Cap would have been my second.
Yeah.
Cap is my favorite movie superhero. I think Chris Evans, Captain America.
Yeah.
Like I like that character more than any of the movies.
I think I could definitely make a solid argument for Cap as well. Like there's probably like 4.
I mean,
I think would be
in the movies. The guy picks up Thor's hammer. I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like team Cap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's an amazing mini-series. I'm sure many of you guys have read it. Justice League versus Avengers by George Perez, and I think Kurt Kabushi. What was it? Not Kurt Kabushi.
Kurt
Bushi. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But there's a scene. I think it's in issue 4 where they're fighting. I think it's the Anti-Monitor or something like that. And Superman has Thor's hammer in one hand and Captain America's shield in the other. And we're talking about original artwork earlier.
That cover.
That's what I want.
That
You know?
cover was on Today's Only slabs.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. I've got the mini series, I've got the hardback and stuff, but you know, when you're talking about owning a piece of original art, that's
Oh, Jesus.
that's what I want.
That would be amazing. I can't imagine how much that would go for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be the center points to anybody's collection.
Stunning.
It's so iconic that like the one man next to Cap, maybe that can like hold Mjolnir as well as Thor. Oh, it's so cool, so cool. Just the idea of it, like my nipples are like this. Like, it's...
Speaking of nipples, Fuzzy suggested the greatest of all time is Leatherboy.
Interesting.
Okay, Fuzzy, I see where you're going with that. Jack, I love Nightcrawler as a character. Superb character. And again, I think we've talked about it before, guys. One of the standalone scenes in X-Men 2 is that White House scene at the start.
Yeah.
And again, a character that's deeply entrenched in religion and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Superb character. And then Jack, Batman, obviously, and then Big Dave, Batman for me, always had a real soft spot for Wolverine. Yeah, very cool character as well.
Going back to Superman really quick, how powerful was he when he picked up Thor's hammer? I mean, just he could have beat the crap out of anybody.
Yeah.
You figure at that point in time, what Superman's weakness is magic. Now all of a sudden he's got magic as well. Everything else, I mean, I don't know.
Crazy.
I love that series. It's a very cool series. I might go back and reread that one. Actually, it's a good book. There's an amazing scene in that. Sorry to keep going back, but an amazing scene in that. I don't know if you guys have all read it, where basically you've got the Justice League and the Avengers all facing off in different panels and different pages, and they've all kind of paired up to fight each other. So you've got Quicksilver versus Flash and stuff like that, and then you've got Batman versus Captain America, and it's literally just a page of them looking at each other and moving to the left and moving to the right, and then one lifts the hand slightly, they don't actually connect, and then after all this they basically say, yeah, fair enough, we've basically assessed each other and this fight could go on for days, so let's just not bother kind of thing. And it's just so cool because that's brilliant. It's exactly what would probably happen. Reminds us a lot. I'm a big fan of the recent Sherlock Holmes movies with
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. You know how he kind of plays through the fight in his head before
amazing sequences.
It is
very similar to that. And then you get the Moriarty versus him doing the same thing kind of battle. Yeah, very cool. Anyway, guys, can I just say a massive thank you? That's the end of the show. Really do appreciate, as ever, you coming along. Just to remind you, you've got the Art Attack on Monday. Looking forward to that, Star Wars related. This is a show that we're going to be doing probably in the next couple of weeks, where we're going to do a show where we've got no slides, no plans. We're just going to come live and chat, and we're going to hope that the chat suggests topics for to talk about or ask for things. So that should be quite fun. Could be an absolute disaster, but we'll see. Tuesday night, we've got Philadelphia. So GP's changed that slightly. We were going to do Crimson Cage, but we're going to move that back a couple of weeks and do Philadelphia instead.
That's right, yeah. Because James picked the Crimson Cage. He can't make it this week. Yeah. So the last pick is Philadelphia, which is Efren's
amazing
pick.
Book. Yeah. Efren got me onto this, and I've never looked back. It's a super.
And you still got me onto it, so
yeah, it's just mental. Again, it's mental. You know, it's can't wait for that. That is going to be a lot of fun. As ever, shout out to the UK YouTube community, those that do live shows. All of those channels are superb, so please do go and check out all of the various content. That's all from me. We'll quickly jump around, see what people have got coming up. Von Hoot, what's happening on your channel, sir?
We'll have another unboxing on Monday and Friday. That's about it.
Very cool. Very cool. Efren?
This upcoming Friday, my time in the evening, about 8 o'clock at night, we're going to go live with a couple of my friends. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con, it's coming up, and, our experiences, what to look out for, how to get ready for the con. So I expect all you guys to wake up, most of you guys, wake up and watch it, probably about 4 o'clock in the morning your time. So
will that be Friday night or Thursday night for us?
Friday night.
Friday night
at 8 p.m. my time here, and I'm in California.
Saturday morning for us.
Saturday morning.
So,
I'll probably still be up.
We're talking about the Comic-Con. It's coming up in less than 2 weeks.
Having my curry at the river. So
I want to expect to see me live on Saturdays. One of these Saturdays, in about 2 Saturdays from today, I'm not going to be, in this panel, but I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con, and expect me to go live on Peter's channel. So we're going to
Good stuff.
Show you a little bit about the con.
Good stuff. Looking forward to that, Efren. And I loved your video about the con area. I watched that the other day. That was really cool and very nice. Rob, what have you got coming up, sir? You're muted, bud.
Noob. Monday mail call. Thursday a mystery box. Saturday no content for me on Saturday, most likely, unless I have something recorded. I take a rare Saturday off. I host on the 3rd Saturday of July every year. I host a ginormous cookout at my place.
Is this your barbecue? Yeah,
my big barbecue. Yeah, multiple kinds of meat. A couple 100 pounds of meat and type stuff. And so I'll be cooking from the night before all day long, serving up a bunch of guests. So,
wow, yeah. That'll be tremendous.
Every time
I mean, you could always do some short videos of the meat that you're cooking, because I'm quite a meat pervert. I like to watch.
So I'll have to send you the links. So I do have a couple on my channel of trimming a brisket and cooking a brisket, and one of spatchcocking a chicken or turkey for Thanksgiving and some stuff like that.
Don't say spatchcock. That's too far. That's too far.
I mean, meat pervert was far enough for me, to be honest. Efren, were you about to say something, mate?
I'm gonna say every time we mute ourselves and we forget to unmute ourselves, we should put money into a little bucket or something, and just somebody wins at the end of the year.
Yeah, we donated to the comics.
Donate to a cause. There we go.
Yeah. Tremendous, Rob. I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures of your meat. Luke.
Truer things have never yet been said.
What have you got coming up, Luke?
So yeah, I've done a few videos this week, including a Oars with Flaws with your good self, Peter. Really enjoyed doing those, and that's kind of been revived back again on the channel. And this Friday, we're going to be doing Making Sense of Pence again, so be sure to look out for that.
Good stuff. Looking for. We need to do some more recording of those. And I know I was going to try and do some today, but I got pulled into other family things. So we'll try and book something in next weekend. Yeah.
Cool.
Or whenever you're free. James T, what coming up on your channel?
My Star Wars Outlaws video up on the channel right now. So check that out if that's a game that interests you. And then I'm bouncing between 2 different ideas for the next one, which are both Star Wars related. So my next one will be Star Wars, but it could be one or the other. So hopefully end of next week, I would say I'll probably have it done.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Looking forward to that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rob's gonna, I'm not even gonna read it, but yeah, that's exactly what you heard. Oh dear God, this is escalating. JP Savo, what have you got coming up on your channel?
Just the review on Tuesday. I haven't done any more. I haven't done any videos yet. I've been too busy, but I have got a book set to do overviews on. So stay tuned for them coming.
I'm looking forward to the review on Tuesday. That's going to be good fun.
Can't definitely.
Okay, ladies and gents, thank you very much for your time. We've done it in under 2 hours tonight, guys. We're getting slicker. Wow. We're getting better. And, bravo. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that's been in the comments. It's been great, as usual, to have you all taking part. And with that, we'll catch you all next time. So take care, everyone. Bye.